Hello, Ruth.
What's up?
How you doing? Well, are you busy?
No.
Okay, so what I'm gonna do right now, we're gonna be having a conversation. Let me get these
hmm
comments out of my face. We're gonna be having a conversation. We're gonna be talking about Breonna Taylor.
Okay.
All right, so I'm gonna kind of like got notes here to set a third, but when I be talking and stuff, it's kind of hard for me to just talk to the camera, so I felt like it'd been better to have a conversation.
hmm
All right, so let me see. Uh, how much do I start this? This is my first time being on live. This
hmm
shit is kind of confusing. Is there any way you can get the comments out the way, or you just got to deal with it?
You just gotta deal with it, pretty much. Or no, I think you could turn your commenting off. You have to do it.
Well, I don't want to do that completely, so I'll just deal with it for right now. Alrighty, guys. My name is Stefan. Welcome to Strictly Reckless YouTube channel now called Reckless Logic. Alrighty, so the conversation that me and my lovely guest today will be having is talking about Breonna Taylor. Now, originally when I heard the story and stuff, I have a lot of opinions about it, but I try to keep. He said, "Boy, deal with it." I try to keep all my opinions to myself, especially when we have very limited access to information. All right, so for those who don't know, Breonna Taylor was a victim of police brutality, and there was a situation where the cops were shooting at the boyfriend. The boy was shooting back at the cops, and as a result of that, she ended up losing her life. Now, recently there was a verdict, and the verdict was that this is 3 counts of wanton endangerment, and it's a $15,000 bond. So with that being said, how do you feel about the verdict?
Honestly, I didn't watch it. I'm not gonna lie to you.
Okay, you are
I
good.
didn't watch it because the anger I felt when I first heard that one of the cops were out. Actually, he was out shopping.
Mm,
The first time I found out that her killers were free. So I was like,
mm,
okay, I'm not gonna watch it.
mm.
Because not only that was I angry, I was having a lot of mixed emotions. Like I didn't know how to feel about it. So I heard from social media that she didn't get the
Mhm.
justice that she wanted. And honestly, I never talked about it. I kept quiet about the situation because every time I try to voice my opinion on social media, it backfires. So I said,
Yeah,
let's stay away from this topic, especially because I wasn't fully informed on Breonna Taylor's situation. So I didn't want to go in and be like, put my 2 cents and say, da da da, the police deserve this, that, and the third.
yeah.
But
Oh,
with that situation, wasn't there someone that called the cops?
that I haven't heard that part, but I just know the
That's
cop.
what I
No,
heard. I heard someone called the cops while they were sleeping, and they
I
had
heard
to
no, I heard there
investigate.
was a well, the story that I have. I'm going based on the story that I have or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
The story basically that I have, and hopefully conscious, you can clear that up if you're still here. Is that apparently they had a warrant,
Mm-hmm.
and that's the reason why they were there.
Okay.
Now that was to my knowledge. So I'm going based off that story. Hopefully, anybody in the comments that know for sure, you can clear that up and help us out. So like there were 3 counts of wanton endangerment, and basically you're getting charged for the potential damage that you could have done. So
Mm-hmm.
basically the cop is not getting charged, and I'm doing this for a reason, not getting charged for the bullets that actually hit Breonna Taylor, but he's getting charged for the bullets that went in other directions that didn't damage anybody, just because
Right.
everybody else was in danger, not because you actually took her life.
Mm-hmm.
So based on that, I feel like it's BS. Now, however, just so you guys know, this is a platform, this is a space where if you know anything or you have more information to give, you can come up, have a conversation, because I'm always willing to hear either side. It's not what you say, it's how you say it. So you want to keep that in mind. All right, so I feel like the charge is BS because the bullets hitting other places is kind of a secondary issue, because the primary issue is that you took her life.
Right.
And the secondary issue is that the other bullets went other places and didn't hit anybody. She was the only one that lost her life.
Mm-hmm.
All the other bullets had no targets. Well, none of them had targets, but all the other bullets didn't hit a target.
Mm-hmm.
It only hit Breonna. And the $15,000 the $15,000 bond or whatever, I feel like it's BS too, because to my knowledge, I could be wrong, but to my understanding, all you have to do is pay 10% of that and you get out.
Right. Yes, that's completely true.
Yeah,
You
so
pay
all you paying
10%
is
of that.
1,500 and you're getting out. I know that maybe seem like a lot of this and third, but when you compare the crime and you compare, you know, the consequence, it's really, you know, whatever. But I feel like that's BS. I feel like they charged them just to say they charged them, not really charged them to, you know, actually like, okay, this is what we're gonna do. Now I was gonna talk about the story about because it was two different stories that the boyfriend gave, and not there were two different stories. One that the boyfriend gave, and then the one that the officer gave.
Right.
So with the boyfriend, let me see how I'm gonna go about this. Not try to keep notes. I will ramble on, baby. All right, let's see. Actually, yeah. So basically, you know, basically from what his story, from what I understand is that basically the cops, they were there. He didn't know they were there. They either somehow he thought they were like invading, and so in his right he started to shoot. Now, based on that story from the boyfriend, how do you feel? You think he had reasons
To shoot back? Honestly,
based on that story?
that he didn't know. And honestly, truly, if you hear a knock at the door and they say that they're cops, I'm pretty sure the cops are going to knock because they
it's a now okay. Here's another part of the story. The other part of the story that they had a no knock warrant. So okay, so I'm just gonna get into it. All right, so the logic. Now this is the way I was trying to break it down. You know, I was trying to break down each story, whatever. Now the officer's story is similar, but it's quite different only because of the warrant situation. Now, the logic is that for one, there were many cops involved, but however, it was only one cop charged. And so me trying to think of why was it all these cops involved, and you know, and me trying to connect the dots of why he was charged, but however the other ones weren't, if they all was participating in that action. Then my only logic is that they probably matched the bullets that hit, matched the bullet or bullets that hit Breonna Taylor and traced it back to his weapon. That's the best way I can come up with it, why he got charged and everybody else was scot-free, whatever.
Right.
Let's see. Oh yeah, so yeah, there was a no-knock warrant and there was a video. Now on the video, there was like the news or whatever, they were talking. And the point, she was like, it was a lady, she was like, the point of a no-knock warrant is that during like drug situations or drug, you know, raids or whatever, you don't want to let the person that's getting invaded or raided know that you're there because wait, you still here? Okay. So like the reason why for a no-knock warrant is that you don't want to let the person that's being raided know that you're there, because if they know that you're there, they can easily dispose of the drugs. Or whatever type of things that they're selling. So you want to keep that evidence. That's the point of a no-knock warrant. So that's what they had. Apparently they had a no-knock warrant, and that's the reason for no-knock warrants. Now, the reason that they were supposed to be there is because they had speculation, or they had some type of hint or whatever that he was involved in selling drugs or whatever. Now, this is all, you know. By the way, this is on the information that I have. If you guys have any more information or anything you can correct me on, let me know. Let me know in the comments. Let me know, you know, elsewhere. Let's see. All right, so the logic that I have is if, okay, you entered their apartment, and since it's being their apartment, and it's late at night, 9 times out of 10, when you enter my apartment, keep in mind, it's a no-knock warrant, so you didn't even let me know that you're there.
Right.
I'm going to think I'm being invaded. And the thing is about Second Amendment is that you can bear arms. Now, with bearing arms, you bear arms against anybody. It's not a bear arms against, I bear arms against, you know, certain people. However, these people are off limits. Yeah and no, but for the most part, it's bear arms against anybody that's trying to invade your personal property without the proper procedures. Keep that in mind. So I felt like it was a little bit of contradiction how people would say, you know, when other people would, you know, be involved into bearing arms and stuff like that, they're quick to be like, oh, you know, Second Amendment. But yet, when it happened, when the situation happened with Kenneth Walker, which is Breonna Taylor's boyfriend, that Second Amendment went out the window. Now, just so you guys know, for those who may think, well, no more, whatever. There's more to the story, whatever. I'm just going bullet by bullet by bullet. So, how do you feel about that so far?
I feel like he had the right to defend himself. But when that's what we got to understand. When we defend ourselves, we have to defend ourselves with the limit. Okay, it was a reaction. I feel like he reflexed, if you know what I mean. Like a lot, I've seen it with not even only Black people, but people in general. Someone come at you, you're not gonna think, oh, let me stop to see what they want. You're just gonna think to defend yourself. It's a defense mechanism that we put up as human beings. And I feel like he had every right to defend himself. I feel like they were sleeping, right? So you waking somebody up out of their sleep, they're in full panic. Because I've learned in anatomy that and when you wake up, your brain's it's not there yet, you know. Like you're not familiar with your surroundings. Like you could probably feel it yourself. You wake up,
you be like out of it.
You gotta take a few minutes to adjust. This man probably woke up out of his sleep and was like, "Oh my God, what's going on?" So his immediate reaction was, "Let me grab a gun and let me fire back because I don't know what's going on. I was sleeping." They gotta think about that too. With your body, you're not going to wake up and just sit there and be like, okay, what's going on? You're going to wake up and you're going to stimulate. Your mind is going to hit and you're going to go into panic. You're going to be like, oh my God, I'm being shot at. He had every right to defend himself, especially,
No, you're good. Continue.
Especially being that he was sleeping, they were asleep or whatever the case was, and he probably woke up like, oh my God, no, oh my God, I'm panicking. Like me personally, if I was sleeping and someone comes and busts, my little sister does it, she'll bust in my room and I'll wake up, oh my goodness, like she scares the heck out of me. And my reaction is to not necessarily to yell at her, but to be like, oh my God, you scared me or something like that. It's just like let's say there's someone in your room and you don't know that there's someone in your room and they pop up out of nowhere, right? And then you'd be like, what the heck? You feel me where I'm coming from? And
I know exactly.
He had the complete right to defend himself if that was the case, if he was sleeping.
Yeah. Okay, so I want to, just so everybody knows, I'm doing logic. I'm breaking down the logic of, from what the story that he gave, because the story that he gave is similar to the opposite what I've seen. You've seen something different, let me know. But from what I've seen, they're similar, but there's there's a little bit of difference.
Right.
So I saw one comment that a couple people kept saying, how did they not know cops were outside?
They were
because there were sirens and lights. Now, at the time of the video that I seen pertaining to this comment, by then the cops already had lights going off, sirens going off, so they already knew they were there. But to be able to refute that is the fact of, remember, they have a no-knock warrant. If they don't have a no-knock warrant, I'm pretty sure they don't want to, knock or have lights to let people know that they're there, because the point of a no-knock warrant is to raid the place to get the evidence by surprise. Exactly. That's the whole point of it. So having sirens or having bright lights, there's no point of having that.
No.
So that's what I wanted to refute. Let's see. Okay, so this is me once again from his perspective trying to break it down. Is that okay? If I don't know people are outside, and by the video you can see that it was extremely dark out there, and you see people outside and you see people in cars and stuff. It looks suspicious. It looks very, very suspicious. So especially when you live in the hood, like it's gonna be very suspicious. So you're already gonna have your guard up or whatever. So that's probably one reason why also contributed to him reacting the way he did. Now another thing too is, like I said before, it's really dark. So it's a strong possibility that he couldn't see the vest or the labels written on the police officers. There's a possibility he couldn't see none of that. So I was taking that into account. And like I said, it's a plan on raid. And with the plan on raid, you have all of those elements. It's dark. I can't see. You have suspicious people with a dog or whatever. Keep in mind, since it is an element of surprise, I'm pretty sure the dog wasn't barking. Nothing like there's a lot of things going on. He's probably like, okay, you know, not pop, pop, pop. That's probably his reaction.
Right.
I'm just saying. Let's see. Now, should I go this way? Let me see. Okay, so this is where the differences in stories come into play. Because the difference is that with the cop, from what I've heard, I'm gonna keep saying throughout the whole interview or whatever, from what I've heard is that the cop said that he knocked on the door. If you have, I'm gonna get into that later, but he knocked on the door. Keep in mind too, there's a no-knock warrant.
Right.
So with that being said, I'm gonna hold that point because I'm gonna get into that a little bit later. But how do you feel about it so far, based on what I've said? Because I'm doing it piece by piece. Right.
You have a no-knock warrant. You're not supposed to knock, and like you said, they're not supposed to make noise with sirens outside. I grew up in the hood. When I was little, I've seen, you know, even across the street from me now, I've seen where cops would do no-knock warrants. I've seen it personally. And for you to open your mouth to say that you knocked when you're not supposed to knock, I mean, one, I could already hear the lie in that.
No, but I do want to say is that I don't know exactly how a no-knock warrant goes. So it's probably one of them things where you probably shouldn't knock, but you can if you want to. Because I don't want to sound like, you know.
No, I know that. I understand where you're coming from. I don't know how they work either. But for you to say you have a no-knock warrant and you knocked, it's like, it's kind of fishy, you know? It's like, why
trust, I'm gonna get into that later because I was thinking about it too. I'm gonna get into it later. I promise you.
Right.
Let's see. Go.
No, I was saying that too. Like it's fishy. It's fishy.
All right, so I do want to hit this point because every time I do a video or anytime I be on Halo, but anytime I do something, I do want to make sure I try to hit all different points so it doesn't seem like I'm just one-sided or I'm just looking at one perspective. I'm trying to look at all things. Now, one thing I will say is that because people have accused this case, you know, of being like a case that shouldn't represent, you know, Black Lives Matter because they felt like certain facts or certain evidence was left out and stuff, and they tried to make it seem like a racial thing when it wasn't. So let me say this: your phone foreign screen. My phone foreign screen. Hello. I thought you said mine. But now I'm gonna say this about organizations and foundations. Now I do understand what organizations and foundations, they're founded on, you know, a cause, a goal and stuff like that. But I also understand with any organization, company, business, foundation, there's always people that want to take advantage of those organizations and etc. Now, what I mean by that is that with the organizations and foundation, whatever, you have people that may go to the organization and may tell a little bit of a lie just so they can get the benefit from the organization.
Right.
Now, I'm going to keep this in mind. I'm not referring to Breonna Taylor at this point, to Breonna Taylor and that situation right now. I'm just making a point. I want to make sure I'm just making a point. But this is not basically on Breonna Taylor because I don't really know everything that was going down. So an example of that, you know how, you know, you may have women that have probably slept with a man and then, you know, probably got mad at them. They all of a sudden say they got raped. And next thing you know, it's the Me Too movement. Or it's like a woman gets mad at the man, then, oh, you raped me, Me Too movement. Or they may do something or be like, oh, he raped me, but however, y'all never met up. Like the whole thing with Chris Brown that happened. And have insidious motives behind it, just trying to get compensation and shit like that. That's what I mean by, you know, people having different type, taking advantage of organizations and foundations. And then it makes it really hard. Talk to you later for a minute. No, but I was going to say, the thing is that with those type of things, it makes it real muddy and it makes it really smoky to where the lines aren't clear on the organization. So now it gives people a reason to be like, okay, are you really being honest? Because the same thing happened with the Black Lives Matter. Like, I wish I would have knew I was going to come on live, because then I would have had cases to actually say this, like I usually do when I'm talking to people. But like, even when Black Lives Matter happens, like how people may do the crime, know they did the crime, but however will try to make it something, instead of saying, making the consequences of something that I did this, so in result, this happened to me. But instead, they're going to make it seem like I was innocent, I did nothing wrong at all, but yet I was racially profiled X, Y, and Z. And this is what happened to me. And so now it gets the community in Black Lives Matter all riled up, not knowing the full truth. So that's what I mean by people taking advantage of the organizations, and a lot of times putting a bad name on the organization and the movements. Because then, like, the same thing with the Me Too movement. The Me Too movement was meant for women, that, you know, give them a voice to, with men or whoever is, abusing them, sexually harassing them, cool. But then when you have other individuals coming in, making up fake stories, this happened to me, this happened to me, you got people fooled, and then they find out you were lying, and it seems to happen, quite often, over and over. Then it kind of makes people like second guess it. It takes the authentic, I'm trying to look for this word.
Authenticity.
Whatever, my tongue's tied. But yeah, that's the whole thing with that. So how do you feel?
I actually had this conversation with my coworker at work, and he said, this is what he said. He said, some people, when it comes to stuff like that, people are two-faced, if you know what I mean. They'll commit the crime, like you said, they'll commit the crime, and then they'll go be like, oh, I got attacked by a police officer, but this is the thing, why did you run? Yes. Now, I do want to say this. My fault for cutting you off, but I do want to say this. I don't want this to be, the message to be mixed in with Breonna Taylor or anything like that. I want to make that, I want to make it clear. But however, I would be lying if I didn't say that since these incidents of people lying about certain encounters and, not telling the full truth happened, then I would be lying. They just about trying to, screw or whatever, use information just so I can look good, or use information for my point. Right. That's all I want to say. But on that topic, like, or if you didn't do something per se, right? Like, you're being racially profiled and you didn't do it, but you're making it seem as if you're panicking. Like, the police comes to question you, and your automatic thought is, oh, why are you in my face? You start going back and forth with the officer, they're going to react. In the way they're going to react, they're going to. Okay, it depends.
Okay.
Wait,
I actually want to talk about that. All right, so with that, I'm kind of back and forth with that, because on one hand, I completely understand, because there has been videos, there has been surveillance footage and stuff of times that melanated folk, minorities, have engaged with the cops or engaged with, authorities or whatever, but they'd be real hostile and stuff like that. Up. Oh, I'm breaking up? What about now? I'm good now?
It's clearing up. Okay, stop. Wait, no, wait.
Now?
Still breaking up.
I'm by a window. Lord Jesus. What about now?
We can hear you. It's just like the movement is just like.
So I'll just stop moving. I'll just talk. Because, right now this air is eating up my signal. Lord Jesus. No, but I was going to say that there has been incidences where, I lost my train of thought. What was I about?
With body cams and people have.
Oh, yes. There we go. Because I was going to say that there has been incidences where, people have engaged with the cops or the authorities, whatever, and been real hostile. And I'd be like, yo, you can't do that. Like, you got to play it safe. Because I have a story myself. Is that one time, me and my friend, we came from LA Fitness or whatever. The gym closed around 11. So we ended up going to Taco Bell after. After we went to Taco Bell, it's around like 12 o'clock-ish, whatever, because we took some time. And so we ended up leaving there. He's about to drop me off home. But however, on the way to him trying to make it to my house, his car had stopped running. So I wasn't far from my house, but I was walking distance. And so his car broke down, and he was like, all right, you can just go, and I'll just have AAA come do what they need to do, whatever, cool. I said, yeah, I'll just wait till the AAA come, and then I'll walk. So we in there. AAA never comes. Hours later, he has to get a relative to come and help him out. Relative comes, helps him out. Once I realize he's good, I go walking about my business. Now, originally, we left the LA Fitness at 11. At this point, it's around 1:30-ish, 2 o'clock in the morning, because I stayed out there with him. I didn't want to be out there by himself. It's my neighborhood. I know what to do, what not to do, like where to go, where not to go, and plus I don't be worried about that. Sad to say, but anyway. So as I'm walking and stuff, I'm walking, and down this long road, there's a long road, but it's no street lights. For like one period of time, it's like no street lights. So I was like 4 blocks of no street light. So I'm in there walking, but the only time you're finally getting lights in that area is at a gas station, because you know gas station has a whole bunch of lights. So I'm walking. I see a cop car go by. Woo! Whatever sound that shit made, I almost made an ambulance sound. But if that's the same sound, but it went by. And so normally when I see cops, I don't get scared or nothing like that. So I was like, I kept going to my business, whatever, cool. So one cop went by, and I was like, okay, whatever, cool. And then a second one went by, okay, whatever, cool. And a third one went by. I was like, okay, they must be looking for somebody. I don't know what's going on. So as I'm walking and stuff, I got my headphones in. I got my head down for a quick second, and then I come up. When I come up, I passed one cop car, and I kept going by my business. And then it was like 2 more cop cars. So by the time I got to the second cop car, I was where the gas station was, where it was light. I got my head down because I was fumbling with something. The officer comes up, and he approaches me. So he kind of started me. I was like, whoa. He said, okay. I said, okay. I said, hello, officer. I said, what's going on? He was like, well, he said, where are you heading from? I was like, I'm heading from, I told him everything that happened, my friend or whatever. And so he asked me, he said, the reason why I'm asking you this is because I'm looking for somebody that fits your description. Now, I'm not going to lie. The nigga in me came out, because I'm like, bitch, you can't fit my description, because, bitch, I just left my friend. And I just left my friend. So at this point, a little bit nigga came out. I was like, I know. I was talking to him just like this. I was like, I know you ain't meet nobody that meets my description and everything with personality and everything. So he was like, yes. So once I realized that, he asked me to open my book bag, because I had my book bag with me to carry my weights, my gym stuff. He asked me, can you see my ID? And he wanted to look through my book bag. So I gave my ID, and I gave my book bag. Gave my ID, everything went fine. With my book bag, he completely emptied that bad boy out. And so in the book bag, he realized it was nothing, just nothing third, and he let me go about my business. Now, I do understand that my situation is not an everyday situation when it comes to melanated folk. I do understand that. But because nowadays you don't have to do much to, even get stopped by the police or even get beat or killed or whatever. Now, the reason why I say that is because sometimes when you cooperate, I'm going to say this again, sometimes when you cooperate, it can save your life. Because at that situation, if I was giving them issues, I'm using my example, my experience as an example. Once again, this is not an everyday situation. I know we have different situations for different times. I got to keep putting that message out there. Okay. But with my situation, situation, whatever, if I would have been sitting there, why you want to and going and getting issues and stuff, they could have did anything they wanted to me. Because remember, it's late at night. The street had no lights on it. There were no witnesses. No lights, nothing. So they could have beat the hell out of me and then threw me in jail, and no one would have ever knew at all.
No one would have saw. Yeah.
So I do believe sometimes us as melanated folk, we do have to be careful with that. That's one side I do think. And the other side is, at the end of the day, nine times out of 10, we don't even have to, no matter if we cooperate or not, they're going to give us issues and stuff like that. I was just one of the lucky ones. So.
Yeah, and that's what I wanted to get on. And there's the flip side. It would be, you cooperate, you go about your business, they let you go, or you cooperate and they beat the shit out of you. They don't care. They don't care.
I have a question. Am I still breaking up?
No, you're perfect now. You're good now.
I'm good now? Okay. Because, I try to, this hotel is really messing up my signal right now.
And
all right, so
on my Explore page where, people, black folks, melanated folks, are, you know, or guy or girl, are getting attacked by police officers, and everyone around him is telling him to be calm, and you see the police just fisting, just punching, just hitting back, and dude or lady will be just laying there, just laying there, not doing anything.
I do believe that training they give them, that needs to change. They need to edit that bad boy, because y'all teaching them to be too aggressive. Because this is not a situation where, you know, and hopefully I don't put my foot in my mouth when I say this, is that I believe this is not a situation where, you know, this is like a one-time thing. But however, these cops are really, really extremely aggressive. Now, I do understand that with authority, you have to be assertive. Right. But however, it's a line to draw when you're being assertive and you're abusing your power. And we've seen too many people abuse their power, and that's not right. Like, you over there got your, like, and then I heard the whole thing with George Floyd. I heard somebody say he was on drugs or whatever. I don't here's the thing too. I don't hate when people try to bring up distractions, and I will bring this up later. Distractions to try to defend what the person did. I don't give a damn if the bitch was drunk, if George Floyd was drunk. Why is your knee on his neck? No, it shouldn't be like that. It's like 45 of y'all on this man. Because the reason I brought that up, because the same thing happened with Breonna Taylor, just to keep in mind. But we're going to get into that a little bit later. Now, another thing that I hear people say all the time, defund the police. How do you feel about it?
See, me personally, in my family, we do have, my cousin's BSO. And defunding the police that's not gonna stop them. You can see them outside of their uniform. You know, there's incidents where they're not even at work and they're hostile. Defunding them, in a way, taking away their weapons, and like, I don't know how to feel about the defunding.
Well,
I'm flip-floppy about the whole defunding thing. I don't know. I can't say anything because I don't have facts on it, so I don't know.
So I was going to say this. Based on what you said, when it comes to defunding the police and stuff, I understand, you know, the whole thing of taking away, you know, their jobs or whatever is not going to stop anything. I think what that's going to do, in addition to what I'm about to say, is that is taking away that badge and that power. I think that's what it is, taking away that power, because you can tell without that job, which is that job, a lot of them, they ain't got no power. Like, you can tell some of them are like real whippish, real, you know, not really the most confident, stuff like that. But yet, when they have that badge, which is a symbol to solidify authority, then that's when you have all the shut up, don't talk. Like, you get all like that. Now, once again, it's difference between assertive and abusing power. Right. Now, when it comes to defunding the police, now I think when people say this, I think what they're doing, they're trying to play on words. Now, I'm gonna try to explain it into my definition to what I think, what it means to defund the police. Now, defund the police, obviously doesn't mean, in my opinion, means to get rid of all the cops, get rid of we don't need police. That doesn't make any sense, because for one, as much as we say we don't need cops, we do need cops, because we can say we don't need them because, you know, the cases that have been going on and stuff like that. But then we can say that we do need them because of the cases of robbery or the cases of other things that need to be managed. And you don't want us civilians taking, you know, being able to come up with solutions for ourselves. You see how the protesting happen when we come up with solutions with ourselves. So someone has to manage those things. And I think what it means when they say defund the police, they mean get rid of the bad ones. Get rid of the bad ones. These cops are committing crimes. These cops are murdering people. These cops are taking people's lives, and all they get is a smack on the wrist and go about their business. That's not right. You over here taking people's life and you're going about your business. Now, however, I did hear that now I could be wrong. If you know, correct me. If somebody know, correct me. Now, this is a thing that I always hear, that there's 6 months to become a cop or something like that. or so, something like that. I was like, the training, but apparently the training is not that long. And I was like, the training is not that. I think that training needs to be called a po-po. Shut up, Terry. But I was going to say that the training needs to be much longer, because you have to realize you're giving people this power. You're giving these people the power to possibly, if needed, take somebody's life. You get what I'm saying? So I feel like there should be more techniques of training put in place. Now, however, I just might make another video on that, or a video on that and stuff like that. So instead of me just trying to come up with what I think they should do, I think I probably should come up with more solutions.
I have a serious question to ask.
Okay.
Especially for you, because you have the military experience, and you've been to training and stuff like that. I've seen, during the marches, people try to get like, a soldier or something to march with them. And, they're not really allowed to, disobey order or whatever, or not really allowed to, leave their post, no matter how bad they feel, no matter how strong they feel in their heart, for real, that Black Lives Matter. I just honestly want to know from your personal perspective, like, what goes, like, not even what goes through a soldier's head, because I can imagine him, I want to support, or I want to, but I can't move. Like, I really want to know, like, is it that dangerous for them to even move, or for them to even nudge a little?
Okay, I'm gonna give you an example. I'm gonna see the best way I can answer this. Yes, because we're allowed to protest and stuff like that outside of our uniform and stuff like that. But we just got to be careful when it comes to government things, because you got to realize this too. There's the situations that goes on with the administration that we have now, and the thing is that I don't speak on a lot of things all the time, or I try to be careful with my words because of my position. You got to realize this too. Donald Trump, whether I like him or not, he's still my boss.
Right.
So just imagine if I'm out here talking all this crap about Donald Trump, talking all this crap about X, Y, and Z, I could possibly get some really bad repercussions, like really bad consequences, stuff like that. However, that's not me getting too deep into it. That's the best way I can answer it.
I understand.
So yes, it can be really bad. That's the reason why, I be having conflict with talking about political stuff so much, because I don't want to cross that line, but at the same time I don't want to be quiet either.
Right, I understand.
So I just gotta pick my words wisely.
You can,
but I have no problem doing it.
I've when I did the march down in Broward, I marched with people just to get the experience, because I'm Haitian, and in my country they don't protest. They're quick to riot. So I was like, let me get, the American perspective. Let me go out there and see what protesting is like. And, you see soldiers out there, and you see people, like, you can see it in their faces. It's not just a blank expression while they're standing there. Some of them you can see in their eyes. Like, if you know how to read body language, and if you know how to read facial expressions, you can see some of them either furious or thinking like, this not right. And in my country, it's totally different. Like, you can see a soldier will move or whatever, because the government's different than the U.S. government. And I want to have knowledge from American perspective, because I'm not fully American. I'm a citizen, and I do what's right. To do my part for the country. I vote and all that stuff. And being in an American protest it's different. Seeing that you guys can't really voice your opinion the way you want to, and seeing that the authority over you guys are, it's really different. Let's just say that it's different.
Yeah, it's different.
It was a different experience for me.
Question: how do you feel about the riots and the looting?
It's not necessary. You want to know why?
It's not necessary.
It's not. It's not necessary.
Continue.
Because I feel like people, when they riot and loot, they're acting out of anger and out of hate. And I've really been getting into my Bible, you know, when it comes to stuff like that. I know how you feel about that. And I've really been trying to, you know, expand my knowledge of that, like, you know, not necessarily worldly, but like, we got to learn how to stop reacting. I understand. Me personally, I've reacted out of anger, and it hasn't been pretty for myself. You know, I want to, like, I want to say that the looting, it's not necessary. We don't have to attack, because it's not necessary. Let's just say that.
Okay, so I'm gonna give my opinion on the whole rioting and stuff. Would I personally riot or loot? No. But however, I would be lying if I said that I don't understand why they're doing it. And that's exactly what you were saying too. To make it clear for everybody know.
Yeah.
The thing is that people like to say peaceful protest, peaceful protest. Pause. There've always been peaceful protests. There were marches. There were kneeling during the national anthem. Businesses that supported, or either from financial gain or whatever, put up ads. And there was other things. What the other thing I want to say? Kneeling, marches, speeches, and speeches. Well, one of them, I say all four, but one of them. But there have been peaceful protests. But no matter what, there's always criticism or things. Like, it's always criticism when it comes down to that. So now you got to realize this too. You have a group of people that've been asking for, treat us. You know, I don't want to say equally, because then it's like treating white people bad. All of a sudden it's equal. It's like treating us like human beings and with rights that you say that we have. Then with that being said, we're asking for help. Hold these cops accountable. Hold these individuals accountable. If you know it's a hate crime, you need to hold them accountable. Stop giving them a slap on the wrist. And now, since they've been asking and being peaceful, and it seems like, you know, people want to sweep things under the rug. Now, what you think people are going to keep asking? No, people are going to get mad. People are going to sometimes take stuff into their own hands and find their own solutions. Now, the one thing I would say is that the methods I would say about rioting and looting is that method I call attacking the dollar. Because with money and stuff, it seems to be the only way to get people to put some pep in their stuff, and it seems to be the only way to get people to start doing shit. That's the only way to get, especially people at the top. Now, when I say people at the top, I'm not talking about they're higher than us, but people with the moolah. That seems to get the people to move and do what they need to do. You still with me? Okay, I want to make sure. So that seems to be the only way to get people to do what they need to do. So now, since I was doing ads, I was kneeling, I was doing speeches and everything, and people love to say, and keep this in mind too, no matter what protest you do, people are always going to have a problem with it, especially if they're the oppressor or the person that the protest is affecting. They're always going to have something to say about it, because guess what? You're going against them. Especially if they have this privilege, you're going against them. Why would I want to give up my privilege for you? So with that being said, they're always going to have something to say, because guess what? When it's like peaceful protests, they had Martin Luther King, they shot him dead. Right. But then when they want a non-peaceful protest, they have Malcolm X, they shot him dead too. Right. So it doesn't matter what type of protest you do, they always have something to say. They're always going to try to, you know, give their criticism. Now, the only thing, another method that I like to see celebrities do is pull out of events. Pull out of events, for one, that lets me know that they're not all about the money. And two, it lets people know that, hold up, y'all having this event, this shit is not important right now. My people, my community is important to me right now. Trust me, I'll have another opportunity to make some money, but right now, my community needs me or needs support right now. So that's what I like. But when it comes to rioting and looting, I was going to say something else. What I was going to say? I lost my train of thought just that quick. But continue talking. It'll come back to me.
But yeah, I feel like it's I completely agree with what you're saying. We asking.
Oh, there you go.
I said it like 4 times. Sit in.
No, I was going to say.
Sit in.
No, I was going to say with the rioting and looting, the only constructive criticism that I would do is stop doing all different types of stores. Do the stores that don't support minorities. Do the stores that have had a whole bunch of racial situations when it comes to ads and stuff,
Right.
like I don't want to say H&M. I'm going to hold H&M off because I don't know how they truly feel. But I'm talking about your Gucci's. You have to stop wearing these people, stop putting money in these people's pockets. That's the reason why they don't support or respect us, because they're like, oh, we'll do the little ad, they'll get over it for 5 months, and that's what more money is coming back in. You have to stop supporting them. If you want to tear some stores up, you tear them stores up. By the way, I'm not supporting violence. I want to make sure I ain't going to jail for nobody. But if you're going to tear some stores and riot and loot, you tear them stores up. Because those are the ones that don't care if black people are dying or not.
Black people should completely boycott those stores. Just like we boycotted the buses. Just like we boycotted certain restaurants back in the day.
That's not happening, because there was a girl today. I was literally talking to her, and she was buying some Gucci slides. I was like, girl. She was like, I don't care. I was like, well, do you then? I'm never going to Gucci. Even though I can't afford that bad boy. And will I ever try to afford it? But no, But let's get into the next thing. I have a few issues when it comes down to the stories. One of the issues is that in the beginning, once again, I'm going stuff that I've seen and heard. If you know anything else, let me know, because I know I got some other people that came in. Or they probably still here, or they left, or whatever. I don't know. But
10 minutes.
issues.
I gotta go in 10 minutes. Gotta get ready to work.
Okay, you go. You got to end it. But the thing is that the issue that I have is that in the beginning, there was actually one of the media people or news reporters said there was no body cams. None of the cops had body cams. There was no footage. But then recently, there's body cams and footage.
Yeah, I've seen a video surface.
Yeah, the video. Well, another thing too is that with those things, I feel like I have two different perspectives on it. The obvious perspective is then they're trying to get a reaction out of us. That's me that was released after the verdict. Now all of a sudden the video comes out.
Thing you said.
Now all of a sudden you get a reaction. And on the other side, I also know that when you're in a jury or when you're in an investigation court, they can't let everything get out. So they probably was like, once this is done, that's when I'm gonna release it. Especially if, quote unquote, I'm gonna say quote unquote, just so no one tag me, quote unquote, if he's innocent, let's release this video to give the general public more insight of what happened, so they can stop thinking this man is a murderer, quote unquote. So that's what I was thinking with the issues. Another thing too, I don't want people to be so easily moved when it comes to footage, because keep in mind too, the footage just stop and end at one point. And keep in mind too, you have one footage where it shows Kenneth Walker, which is her boyfriend, or probably husband, I don't know exactly, but I know he's the boyfriend, in a relationship. You can see him have his hands up, and the cop is telling him, get on the ground, back up, you know, tell him to basically surrender or whatever. And then you have another video inside of the apartment. Now, the issue that I have with that, like I said before, videos start at one place and end at one place. I don't want to see two separate videos. I want to see one long video of the whole interaction.
Right.
Because keep in mind, too, people were saying from his story is that, how did you not know the cops were here, da-da-da-da, and they was trying to connect the dots and come up with their own solutions. But keep in mind, too, people said that, what was I doing with this? Let me look at it. Because, okay, here's the thing, it was like, it's a no-knock warrant, but yet you go and knock on the door. Like the lady said before, if the point of the no-knock warrant is not to alarm for drug reasons, for drug situations, and keep in mind, your motive was coming to his house was a drug reason, a drug situation, you should not be knocking on that door. So with that being said, if it's a no-knock warrant, you knocking on the door, that's the reason why I'm just not so easily moved when it comes down to believing everything that's out there, because at the end of the day, you are chopping up videos, and only God knows what series of events happened between them. Because keep in mind too, he also called the cops. He also called the cops to come help Breonna Taylor, because you hear him crying on the phone. So it's a lot of things that are missing out of, you know, from what the truth is. Well, that's why I'm not really like, you know, 100%, you know, on either side, but however, I'm leaning more towards Breonna Taylor because I also know as well the cops also have that pull to pull whatever narrative that they want out there.
Mm-hmm.
So, another thing I was gonna say is that I don't want people to get so wrapped up in distractions to distract you from the point of, you know, of what you knowing what is right, of trying to get you to sway over to their side or believe in everything that they believe. That's a problem right there, because one of the distractions hey Brandon, one of the distractions I was talking about is that I said Breonna Taylor's past. Now, once again, this is stuff that I heard, that I've seen for myself, but however, this is not all information. If you know other stuff, let me know. I have no problem. Now, she had an ex-boyfriend, Jamarcus Glover. I believe that's his name, Jamarcus Glover, and he was a drug dealer, whatever, and apparently he had got arrested multiple times, whatever, and there was with transporting and delivering drugs or whatever. Oh, she got caught up in that. Whatever.
Yeah.
But people would try to bring up that right there just so they can try to justify. Remember the whole George Floyd thing I was talking about?
Mm-hmm.
People would bring up the past to try to justify why she got shot. That doesn't make no justification, because guess what? That situation with her ex, which is Jamarcus, that has nothing to do with Kenan. Mm-hmm. Because guess what? You can be you can transport drugs with one relationship, and then you can realize that shit is fucked up. Then when you get into a new relationship, and let's keep in mind too, if the last boyfriend was allegedly a drug dealer, drug lord or whatever, I'm pretty sure this one right here, if he was a drug lord, she can be like, you know what? I'm not going to participate, but however, I still like you, but I just don't like what you do. And I hate when people try to act like, you know, they haven't done those type of things. Well, you know, some people that you've been around don't always participate in the right actions, but however, you still mess with them because you have a relationship with them.
Mm-hmm.
This is why we almost got a whole bunch of family members like that. And some of y'all got boyfriends and baby daddies, mamas, all those type of things. So it really was killing me. But however, people would use that information to try to apply it to this situation. Now, it would be different if they had evidence of her transporting drugs in this relationship at that moment. But I don't give a damn if she was transporting drugs while she was in a relationship with Kenneth. Because guess what? At that moment, when she got shot, she was innocent.
Mm-hmm.
There was no transporting of drugs to our knowledge, because guess what? We don't have evidence. And we probably would have had more evidence if you allow us to see the full footage instead of taking them 2 snippets and then just releasing them bad boys.
Mm-hmm.
So
and
that's
that too. I feel like with the whole surveillance thing, it could be edited. You know, they could edit it in a way that they want us to see. They could
like
touch it up.
The whole chopping it up, and then you said it was no footage. All of a sudden, footage comes out.
Right.
And I actually seen a news reporter say that out her mouth. I'm like, can y'all just say it was no? But then y'all, that don't make no sense to me. And then it's not even full. It's not even everything. It's just 2 little snippets.
2 videos, right?
And it shows a big gap between. So it was like we don't know what happened before they got there, in between those 2 footages, and after.
Mm-hmm.
Well, we know the concept of what happened after, but we don't know everything. So now, like, that's kind of have me on the fence about believing the cops, because I'm like, I don't know. So how do you feel so far?
I feel the same way you feel. Like, where's the rest? Can we see the rest? Because from my knowledge, I don't really have a lot of knowledge on the whole Breonna Taylor thing. Like I said, I stayed far away from it. I didn't want to watch it. I didn't want to see it. Like when I found out there was no justice, I don't know how to feel about the whole thing. It's just a mix of emotions. Like it's anger, and then again it's like I feel really bad. Like she deserves justice. She really does deserve that justice. And if you guys are saying that this man, he committed a murder, he killed her, you know, like, and I feel like I feel like in the back of my head, I feel like a conscious cop or the other cops that were in there could have been like, stop shooting, you know, it'd be like, there's another person in the room, stop shooting, you know, stop the fire, or somebody, if you're wearing vests, if you're wearing bullets, if you're wearing, Go ahead.
Okay, but because we do have to end this soon. I will save the live. But the thing is, I will say is this, because I kind of forgot when I was going on my rant. But I do want to end it off with this on my behalf. I'm going to let you speak, and then we're going to end the live. The last thing I want to say is this kind of goes based off the last point I said, is that when people want you to believe whatever narrative they're trying to put out there, the first thing they're going to do, and I want people to pay attention to this because I've seen it a lot of times, they want to mess up your character or bring up past that supports that narrative that they're putting out there. That's the reason why when the whole Breonna Taylor thing came out, they was like, oh, she helped transport drugs in that third. Look at her past. Same thing. Now, case in point. Oh, I got 25 seconds. Case in point. Case in point is like, you know, I may just say if I get in a fight and just say my personality is I'm aggressive, this and third, you're gonna believe it. But yet, if I say, oh, you're real nice, he's real sweet, this and third, he never gets mad, and you heard I get in a fight, he got in a fight. What you mean he got in a fight? So that's what I mean by that. And this live about to end in 7, 6. Well, alrighty, guys. I'll see you guys later. Bye.
Bye.
Bitch. What?